Well, howdy, everybody. So this is my vlog on starting a franchise or joining a franchise, buying into a franchise. Um, my wife and I have been looking for years for a franchise to buy into. It's one of those where I personally see it as a safer bet than starting my own business. I do have my own business. My wife has her own business, and they're successful. But what we're wanting to do is have something that's kind of a more legacy. It lives on. So that's a little bit of background. Been wanting to buy a franchise for a long time, and we've looked at various franchises over the years. So this is my vlog, more from my own historical record. If anybody wants to listen to this, I pity the fool who wants to listen to my voice for that long. But hey, I'm going to try and do these weekly to keep an update on these. So just kind of a idea of where we're at right now. So about 3 months ago, reached out to a company. Was told they don't have franchises available in our area. Left it at that. A couple months later, or a month and a half later, decided to reach out again. This time I actually talked to someone and they said, well, your entire state has been locked down by a specific person, but that contract is coming up and we'll see what happens in about a month. A month and a half went by. I'd kind of written it off like it's not going to happen. I received a call from them and they said, it's open up. Do you want to proceed? And so the steps led up to that as I went to their website, found out what are the requirements. So I'm going to share a couple websites with you. First one is Panera Bread. Let me do that here. Just to give you an idea, for Panera Bread, these are the qualification criteria to open a Panera Bread. I'd love to open one. I like Panera. You have to have a net worth of $7.5 million and liquid assets of $3 million. I am not part of that crew, that group of people that can afford that. There's a lot of franchises that this is the case. And this is the immediate disqualification for me and my wife. We weren't given a lot growing up, and we weren't fortunate to have some big inheritance or something that was left to us. We're kind of bootstrapped our way through life, and we have money now that we'd like to invest and do something like this, but we don't have $7.5 million in net worth or liquid assets of $3 million. So the company that we are going with, which is Tropical Smoothie Cafe, just to give you an idea, they have a requirement of minimum net worth of $350,000 and $125,000 in liquid assets. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's far more reasonable for the everyday Joe that wants to do this. I see more of the Panera being, hey, this is a rich person who wants to just have a pet project. This is more of a, hey, I'm an owner operator. I want to do this. So the intent that my wife and I have is to open multiple. Right now we qualify for one, and we're started that process. Like I said, contacted them a couple times. Finally, it opened up. We were able to do it. We meet their qualifications. So after discussing it with them, they said it takes about 12 months from beginning to end, and which is quite a length of time. But we're in it for the long haul, and for us, it was finding that right business. How do we stumble, or how do we come across Tropical Smoothie Cafe? Well, long story short, our oldest son was serving a church mission in Bentonville, Arkansas, and we would periodically get charges on our credit card from Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and we're like, what is that? And where we live up here in Idaho, we don't have those here. So it was, hey, he's going there a lot, and we went and visited this last summer, and we got to go to a Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Loved it. So like, hey, if we could do it, let's open one up here. And so that is where we're at in that process. We have contacted them, found out what our net worth is, found out what the initial fees are going to be, and if you can afford to pay that out of pocket. They have a pretty reasonable franchise fee of $30,000, and then $10,000 for a grand opening fee. This is all public information. Anything outside of that is kind of proprietary information. So I reached out to the franchisee. We landed that franchise. We went through the process of reading what's called the FDD, the franchise disclosure document. With this particular company, that's about a 400-page document. Little light reading. It's like reading stereo instructions for multiple days straight. It doesn't do well for my mental health. But anyways, made it through that, has a copy of the franchise agreement. Was able to go through all of that information. We were able to calculate our net worth, our liquid assets, and then we did the official application with them. And so they sent back, we've talked multiple times. They pitched to us, we pitched to them. And now about a week and a half ago, we got the final agreement from them. We took that information along with information from a lender to our accountant just to say, hey, does any of this make sense? Are we, let's read it over from a financial perspective. And so we got the thumbs up from them. We read through it with a fine-tooth comb. So the actual agreement was only about 59 pages. I say only because comparison to the franchise disclosure document, much shorter. But it was 59 pages of legalese, which I am not fluent in legalese. I can read it, but it's mind-numbingly boring at times. So I just took it at chunks. I had a highlighter and a pen, highlight sections, write questions, went through the whole thing. Then we went back and forth with the franchise developer, questions that we had. Nothing was really like red flags. This is a showstopper. We're not going to do it. And so during this time, while we were evaluating the agreement, we reached out to a couple of franchisees, which we recommend, and talked to them, asked a lot of questions. We had like a page full of questions of just various things from, hey, what was it like? What's it like opening up a second franchise? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And one of the questions we ask is, when it's all said and done, if you had to do it all over again, would you? Not what would you do differently, but would you partner up with this company? And without a doubt, both of them said, yep, we would do it again. So it's good news. It means that I feel that we've chosen the right company. So does my wife. She thinks that the same thing. So during this time, while we had the agreement in place, we were kind of in this cooling off period to make sure that we were reading through it all. We were consulting with folks on our side. Because when you sign that agreement, that last page of the agreement is basically a bank information, so they can pull the funding from your account for the franchise fee and the grand opening fee. So during this time, we reached out to a lender and talked to them about getting some financing, because this could range anywhere from about $250,000 to, I don't know, sky's the limit. We had to build our own building. So we needed to get some financing because, as I mentioned earlier on, we're not rich. So that's where we're at. So we connected with them, which is great. They're helping us along the process. I have to say that with this particular company, Tropical Smoothie, their franchise development staff, awesome. They've been holding our hands through the entire thing. Never once treated us like we were dumb, because we were asking some pretty dumb questions. At least I felt they were pretty dumb. I'm new to this. I don't know. I own a business, but I don't do this kind of work in my daily life. So they've made us feel really awesome. Anyways, we went through the agreement, signed on the dotted line, made sure money was in the account so they can pull it. And like within a day, we got multiple emails from them like, welcome, and here's this person, here's this person, here's this person. And since then, we've heard from the director of real estate. They're finding a broker for us. It's all very exciting. It's like this, woohoo, yeah, we signed it, and we're very excited. But at the same time, it's like, whoa, we just spent a chunk of change. And for us, that's a lot of money. For some, it may not be a lot of money, but for us, it is. And it got real. It's very real at this point. We've spent money. And now we're going to be doing site selection, which is actually what they say is takes some of the longest is site selection, takes several months. And up here where we're at in Rexburg, Idaho, hopefully not that long. It's not a big town, but we'll see. So we found financing, we signed the agreement. Now we're in talks with the, we actually have a meeting next week with the broker that they have found, and we're hoping that they're going to be awesome. And a couple things to keep in mind during this process is business planning. Who's going to run this thing? You know, what's the day-to-day operation going to look like? When we talked to some of the other franchisees, you know, we asked them like, what's it like when you open your first location? What's it like opening your second location? How much time are you spending doing it? What's staffing look like? What is your management, assistant management, general management? What does all that look like? So kind of comes down to how much you're willing to put into this thing. And there's a lot of sweat equity that's going to be going into it. I know for myself and for my wife, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. So, and we're prepared to do it. It's one of those things we've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm thinking of this as an adventure and investment at the same time. If you can combine those words, investment. Let's go with that. Adventure, investment. If I look at it that way, I might be more sane by the end. I mean, I may come back and look at these videos and go, man, you were naive. You had no idea. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as we move forward in the process. So the awesome part about just to backtrack a little bit with our financing, they came highly recommended from the franchisee, which was great because they had a lot of historical information that they can pull from to help us create a business plan. Again, that's how is this going to be ran? How are you forecasting information? Does it make sense to do it for you in your existing area? Another thing you have to do is you have to create an entity. You're either going to be doing it as a sole proprietorship or an LLC or a corporation. So we created our own LLC. Didn't take very long. Our accountant is top notch and was able to do it super fast. And we also received a book or recommendation on a book to read about franchising. I'm looking over here. It's called Multi-Unit Leadership. You're told that's a very good book to read when you are wanting to do franchising. So that's where we're at this point. And again, this is a video mainly as a video diary, a vlog for me to kind of track how we're going and look back and maybe see how crazy I was in the very beginning or naive and see how we've gone and see those milestones as we go along. So next week, I'm going to try and post again. This will be after we meet with our broker, real estate broker. There may not be a lot, may not be as long as this first one, but we'll see how it goes. And we're very excited at this point. I see smiles on my face now in 12 months after the location is open. Hopefully I still have smiles on my face, but we'll see. And so the next episode is going to be about site selection, things that we've learned about this specific area, things that we've already learned from the director of real estate. So that'll be coming up next week as we have a little bit more information. We found out that we were pretty naive in terms of commercial real estate. So if you have that in your back pocket, you have some experience with that, you're going to be coming into it with a little bit more advanced knowledge than I have for sure. So, all right, we'll take care. We will report back soon. We'll return and report.